Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready? I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this.
What's up, everybody? It's your man's KJ the Great, dropping another edition of All Sports Media TV. But first, I want to say, I hope and pray everything is great your way. Now, let's get to it. So today, we had the undisputed 160-pound middleweight championship of the world between Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields, both undefeated fighters. Before going into this fight, Savannah Marshall was 12 wins, no losses, no draws, with 10 wins by way of knockout. Claressa Shields was 12 wins, no losses, no draws, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Before we get further into it, I'm gonna let my brother here introduce himself to y'all.
What's good, y'all? My name is Bobby Marshall Jr. Y'all can go on ahead, look me up and check me out on Facebook, Bobby Marshall Jr. Snap, Senior_Debonair, as well as Instagram, Bob_Marsh_Jr. Let's get into the video.
All right, so basically, the end result is a unanimous decision for Claressa Shields. All 3 judges scored it in her favor, which was what I predicted going in, on the basis of her being faster and more technically sound and more defensively responsible all around. Savannah Marshall, she did put up a good fight, no lie. She gave her probably the toughest fight that I've seen in a long time, but it wasn't enough. So in looking at, we'll talk about the first 5 rounds of the fight. So from your perspective, what did you see from the first 5 rounds?
The first 5 rounds of the fight, honestly, Claressa took over and controlled the fight as soon as it started. Now, we'll give Savannah her credit. She came out there. As y'all can see, for those who watched the fight, she tried to set up that jab, using it here and there, but it was just a little too lazy. That's all, just to be honest.
Yeah.
So Claressa, she was good on her defense right from the get-go.
Yep.
She was picking out her shots. She was basically, like, okay, so I'm going to see her mimic her, and then I'm going to go off what she was doing.
Right.
So therefore, the first 5 rounds of the fight, I definitely give it in Claressa Shields' hands. She dictated the fight, controlled the pace. She made Savannah come to her versus getting her out of her own element.
Right. And that's exactly, I agree 100%. That's exactly how I saw the fight. Claressa Shields, she can come forward, and she has come forward in a lot of her fights. The difference with this fight is there was no nerves, and people were saying there were nerves involved and none of that. It was literally her being methodical on what Savannah Marshall was going to try to do. Jab, jab, just like you said, flick the jab, and then try to set up the right. The problem with doing that with somebody when they're so technically sound is when you flick the jab a couple times, that lets somebody know that you're sitting on that right hand. And every time Savannah Marshall would come, Claressa Shields would be right here, shoulder up, and she would move out of the way. That right there, you should have switched your game plan after 5 rounds. Now, let's talk about the second 5 rounds, which is 6 through 10. In all honesty, I saw it. Savannah Marshall, she won round 6 and 7. Claressa Shields, she wasn't as defensively sound in 6 and 7. She got tagged a few times, and she started to get overzealous with her punches, which is when a fighter knows they're winning. Like, if I know I'm winning and I know I'm doing what I want to do, sometimes I start to do too much, or I start to do stuff that can cost me the fight, which is Savannah Marshall. She's very, very rangy, and Claressa Shields, she's not as rangy, but she is sound. You can't try to be on the end of her range, because if you catch somebody on the end of that punch, that can put you down. So with rounds 6 and 7, I gave those to Savannah Marshall, in my opinion.
I agree with that. Because I think at that point, that's where Savannah started to realize, okay, maybe I need to change up just a little bit. She's coming out the same. She's great technical fighter. Defense is on point. Her offense is just as well. As y'all seen, the accuracy between the two.
Yep.
Now, Savannah did land quite a bit of punches.
Yep.
Claressa even pointed out her power behind those punches. So she even gave her credit on that.
Yep.
So with the last 3 rounds or so, I would say Claressa started to, okay, I don't want to get feel like, okay, I got the fight once, maybe I should coast, or maybe, I should try to let my hands go a little more.
Yep.
So what she did was, in the last 3, she still made her basically come to her, like, okay, I'm gonna make you fight my fight. And Savannah kind of got in sort of like a desperation mode in a sense, because she said, and I'm pretty sure she could even sense she was down on the scorecard.
Especially in round 9. That's why I said I scored round 6 and 7 for Savannah Marshall. I gave 8 to Claressa. She got back on her jab and she got back defensively sound. Round 9, that's when you can see a change in Savannah Marshall. She was trying to not only stick, but throw that jab with intent, and she was throwing the right hand with intent. Even Claressa Shields said after the 10th round that she could barely see out of her eye, and that's just the power. There was never no knock on Savannah Marshall's power, but it's just like I've been saying, when you fight people as good as you are, that are beneath you all the time, and you're not fighting somebody on your level or above your level to test you, when you do eventually fight that person that is on your level, you will lose. That's just how a lot of that stuff works. Like, in comparison, we can use Deontay Wilder. He's got 41 knockouts in his career, and he's one of my favorite boxers. But the thing about him is, when you fight somebody who does not move well, that's an easy target, which is what Savannah Marshall has had up until this point. Right. People that don't move well and they stay in the line of fire. If they don't move and she connects, they're going down. With Wilder, a lot of times it was if they don't move and he connects, we knew they was going down.
Yep.
So,
and so I'll also add to this too. Now, Savannah Marshall did surprise me a little bit. I actually thought Claressa was gonna I'm not gonna lie to y'all, she was gonna take over and dominate the fight.
Yeah.
She won, hands down. But Savannah actually put up a pretty decent fight. So now, let's say if they wanted to go with the second fight, now she'll have to come up with a different game plan.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, just like James said, when you go up against somebody who's either at your skill level or maybe even beyond you, that's what's going to test you the most.
Yep.
You're going to see different things, different fight style, different offensive tactics, defensive tactics, and that's where you have to come up within that fight yourself to be able to adapt. Yep. That's what separates the elite fighters versus good fighters.
Yep.
People who can box and know how to fight, okay. But now let's see you go up against somebody who's at your skill level or beyond. Yep. Now how are you going to respond to it during the fight?
Yep. And speaking into the desperation, you can see the desperation on Savannah Marshall's face in the 9th round. Claressa Shields, she started to connect, and she wasn't throwing a lot, but she was connecting on precision. And when there was a left hook that Claressa landed that caused Savannah Marshall to go from orthodox into southpaw, that right there will let you know any fighter that is not known to do that, when they do that, they're trying something because they know they're on the outs of losing this fight. They know they're down. They know they can't get this person out. Savannah Marshall is used to winning all her fights within 4 rounds. I think she's only been the distance twice, and most of her knockouts have come 2nd and 3rd round. When you fight somebody like Claressa Shields, who has great defense, great footwork, is very skilled on offense and defense, you have to do more. She was active, she was throwing, but she was not connecting the way she should have been. If you are going to come forward on somebody, you have to be able to time and be precise with your punches. You can't just throw and hope for this to count for the judges. You have to make it count, you have to make it stick. That's one thing that I think she lacked. One thing for sure she lacked in the first 5 rounds for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But in that 10th round, that 9th and 10th round, that's when I think she kind of fell off again as well. So, but Claressa Shields is now 13-0, no losses, no draws, 2 wins by way of knockout. She won the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBA, WBC, IBF, IBO, and the inaugural Elizabethan title that the WBC created. She's still the Ring Magazine champion. So now she's back on top pound for pound, #1 fighter in the world. I'm pretty sure she will stay at 160 and defend. They may make a 2-fight deal out of this. This time we will expect Savannah Marshall to come to the United States. This time, expect that fight to be in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. And I'm pretty sure they can sell that fight out. So, but that's all I got for y'all today. Congratulations to Claressa Shields, 3-time undisputed champion. Make sure y'all like this video, share this video, drop a comment in the comment section. Follow me on Instagram at All Sports Media TV. Follow me on my other Instagram at KJ the Great 09. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.